Hello, welcome to Plus Sports Special on Saturday. I'm joined today by Tolulope Atobatele, a capable sports journalist in the country who's going to help me dissect some of these relevant sports stories from around the world. As we often like to begin, we'll start right here at home in Nigeria. Tolu, welcome.
Good morning, Kylie. It's nice to be on the set of a Plus Sport a special for the first time Saturday morning in the city of Lagos, where sport activities go down week in, week out on a daily basis, every second, every minute. When you get to various stadiums across the state, you will be marveled with the level of things, of course, are going on there. You see young ones taking to tracks, taking to football pitch, hockey pitch, and some other.
Of course, even this Saturday at TBS, there will be plenty of cricket going on, and around Africa and around the world, weekends are special for sports. And if, as we want our audience to always try to do, stay active, join in, get involved, go out during the weekends. Don't just watch the sports at home. Also participate. I think we're going to have some good quality football this weekend.
Yeah, of course, starting, from home, because it's a charity begins at home, you understand? So, and, just as I say, we've seen a series of transfers, going on in the MPFA, players moving from one club to another, even, the gaffers, are moving from one club, to the other. And the clubs, representing Nigeria at the continental club competitions, putting final touches, to their preparations, before they storm the continent, for CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. So, all these, and of course, going abroad, across the border, you understand? So, where, with the exciting, football leagues in the world, from the Premier League, the most exciting and well-packaged, football league in the world. Yeah. So, going to Serie A, looking at the Juventus and other, clubs, Santander La Liga, French Championnat, German Bundesliga, Portuguese Primera Liga. We can talk about, European football from now till the end of the world.
That is so true. European football at the level that it currently is, it gives us a lot of food for thought.
Of course.
There's plenty to dissect, plenty to talk about. But we don't want to stray too far from our own shores, not give due credit or put enough of a spotlight on our own sport, on our own development. The footballers, both men and women, the able-bodied athletes that are vying for world championships and Olympic spots, our able but handicapped athletes who continually do us proud. There's plenty of spotlight to go around. I was saying yesterday that Michael Jordan's jersey, the one he wore in the final three-peat championship that he had with the Chicago Bulls. That's gone on auction yesterday, and the sellers were expecting between $3 and $5 million. Such memorabilia carries value because the lovers of the sport, the lovers of the game, the lovers of Chicago Bulls, the lovers of Michael Jordan, they will vie and pay as much as they humanly can to possess something of such importance to them. It reminds them of a time in history where something great happened. A great man did something fantabulous. Is it possible for our athletes to ever get to a point where their jerseys are being auctioned off for such value? Not just abroad, because truth be told, that culture already exists abroad. Does it exist here in Nigeria, in Africa?
Yeah, I think, remember the last time I said something on Plus Sport that, the sports minister, Sunday Dare, came with a vision, visions, and a whole lot of ideas, wanting to turn things around positively, for Nigerian sport, by starting, by putting the right people, of course, on the right pegs, you understand? So, and making sure, technocrats, take a center stage, and do the right thing. yeah, that is, one aspect of, the other aspect of it, is the idea of, adopting a stadia, adopting athletes, you understand? So, it starts, gradually, you understand? So you can't put 20 pegs in a 20 hole at the same time. You have to start one after the other, you understand? So when you achieve it, then you move on to the next stage, you understand? So, you can't achieve everything at a go. So it's a step after the order, they say, you understand? So now, we must have a master blueprint on how to manage sports in the country if you want to get to that level, you understand? So now we must have a philosophy, there must be a culture for it, you understand? So you can't just wake up someday and say, oh, this is where you want to get to. You must have your plan and you must take it one after the other.
But do you think,
so the athletes, we have, looking, if you look at the way that every avid sports fans in Nigeria adore, the athletes, you understand? So you will be surprised that, well, if we can adore our athletes like that, definitely, all this memorabilia, you understand? So that comes from it, of course, we be accepted, by Nigerians. We have to start.
It seems to me like Nigerians, sorry to cut you off, it seems to me like Nigerians, there's so much apathy in how we celebrate our athletes. Don't forget, there have been many instances of athletes gone on to the World Cup, both men and women, gone on to the Olympics, gone on to the World Championships, came home with something valuable, great recognition, won tournaments, or got as far as any African nation or any previous team from Nigeria has ever gotten, further than any of them. And promises are made by governments. We'll pay you this, we'll shower you this, we'll give you this reception, we'll give you homes. And it goes years. Those bonuses never come due until maybe 3, 4, 5 administrations down the line. But it's one thing for the government to forget these athletes, to forget the value that their representation of our country has given us on the world stage. It seems to me like even Nigerians, everyday Nigerians, forget about these athletes. So if we're forgetting about them, if we're not even remembering that the promises that our governments made years ago haven't been fulfilled, how then can we ever reach the point where we value just the memorabilia that accompanies them during those great sporting moments that brought them victory and brought them recognition and us in due course?
Yeah, exactly. That is what I touched on, of course, earlier, that we have to have a master blueprint. So at the sports ministry, we must get it right. That is step number one, because when we get it right, at the ministry, definitely every other things, will fall in place. But, but if we make a mistake, you understand, so not getting it right, from the sports ministry, down to all the sporting sectors, there will be problems, you understand. So that is why I said the incumbent sports minister, Sunday Dare, says to get things done in Nigeria the way it should be done, we have to start, from ourselves, you understand. Now, what does it mean by that? Let the right people come on board. So sports is a business. It's a money spinning business. There's no doubt about that.
That's true.
But in Nigeria, it seems I believe that sports is just an exercise or recreation. Where we can just go, dilly-dally with it, and go like that.
So you're saying that it starts from the top. Once a vision is set from the very top, and the administrators manage it properly, we the fans will get our money's worth, and we will finally be able to hold on to the.
Yeah, it's in two ways. You understand. So now, from the top means that if we get it right at the ministry, sports ministry, by letting the right person, of course, be the sports and youth minister in the country, you understand. Definitely, the athletes won't lament non-fulfillment of promises, you understand. So because it will be a primary assignment, of the minister to fathom out a way, to get these allowances and bonuses, promised the athletes by the federal government. But but if the right person is not in place, you understand. So how do you come about that? That is one. Then the other way around is, are the various sporting sectors, the sporting federations, you understand. So let the right people, the technocrats, those who have the ideas of how things, of course, should be done, let them occupy the top positions. Let them be the hierarchy, you understand. So when they are the hierarchy, definitely they say he who wear the shoes know where it pinches, you understand. So but the idea of going back and front, bringing people with no ideas, with no vision, with no innovations, to occupy the top position. What do we get? Series of controversies here and there. We tear apart our sporting federations, just like we've had in the past. What happened to basketball? What's happened to even NFF in the past? Just a couple of hours ago. You understand? So we saw the communique of the NFF. The resolutions. You understand? So now, if we can get it right this time around, I bet you everybody will be happy at the end of the day.
All right. Let's now move on to some athletes who right now are trying to represent Nigeria and fulfill promises and hopes that a lot of people have put on them. High-flying Nigeria will face a difficult challenge when they face the Netherlands in the quarterfinals of the 2022 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. Victories over France, South Korea, and Canada earned the coach Chris Danjuma Musa-led team maximum points and the top spot in Group C. Nigeria will win their first 3 World Cup matches for the first time in 10 World Cup appearances spanning 20 years. But the Netherlands will put that fine run to the test on Sunday night. The Dutch girls finished second in Group D behind defending champions Japan, led by 41-year-old coach Jessica Torney. It's no surprise that the Netherlands has been one of the tournament's best attacking machines thanks to a game plan based on quick passing and fluid movement. Spain, with their 8 goals, are the only team who have outscored the Orange Girls, who sit on 7.
Wow, looking at the Super Falconets, of course, I call them a Super Falconets, you understand? So, they've given Nigeria a brilliant performance, in the group stage. So everybody is looking, towards, having a good encounter, when they score against the Orange Girls, of course, later tomorrow. But for me, I think, I've been able to, spot out 1 or 2 things, that is fascinating, in the place of the Super Falcons. Look at the way they move the ball. Of course, they were very quick, you understand? So, and swift on the ball as well. And I think, what, works well for them is having a football philosophy. How the team plays is very important. If you sit down and monitor the team closely, so you will understand that the team is very coherent, you understand? So, the chemistry in the team is
a hallmark of African football is high energy,
exactly,
high running, plenty of physicality. The Netherlands girls are also rely on a lot of fast-paced movement of the ball, a lot of running, which also means that their counter-attacking is very, very fine-tuned. Is that going to counter the standard aggression and standard paciness of the Falconets football?
Well, looking at it very well, European teams, playing against themselves, it's a different ball game, you understand? So then, playing against African teams is another different ball game entirely, you understand? So, no matter how, the Orange Girls, played against their European counterparts or their Asian fools, so when they come up against an African side, it's a different ball game, you understand? So, and Nigeria, we don't, of course, we are a team that don't play on a fast counter, you understand? So, we build, from the back gradually, you understand? So, and looking at the team, they have a couple of talented, young girls, of course, in it, like Imran. So Imran is dubbed the new Marcelo of Nigerian football. You understand the way she moves, of course, on the ball, and and she possesses a very good crosses, that can, of course, outwit defenders, opposing defenders anytime, any day. Then the number 8 girl, Esther Oyeneduze, you understand. So she's got a fierce shot, in her both feet, and a very quick player, so the captain Dimei also, of course, she's been able to pull together the team, and of course there are a couple of girls in the team that can get the job done. I fear no fools, you understand. So, and I know this is a tournament, we have been well represented by the Super Falconets in the past. Remember, we won our silver. We won silver, during the era of Okparanuzi and Co. You understand? So I think it's a tournament we are familiar with, and we have a superb team, that is flying Nigeria's flag high. Come on Sunday, let's meet the orange girls. Of course, it will be a clean sweep for Nigeria. You understand? I bet you Nigeria will say through the hurdle, posed by the orange girls, and sail effectively into the semi-final stage of the FIFA Under-20 Women World Cup.
All right, I can't wait to see that game. I do hope, and I know a lot of people's hopes on the girls that this time around they can win the whole tournament and come back champions. Manchester United have reached an agreement with La Liga champions Real Madrid for the transfer of defensive midfielder Casemiro, the Premier League club said on Friday. United said that the transfer is subject to the agreement of personal terms, British visa requirements, and a medical. We understand that the 30-year-old is set to sign a 4 to 5 year deal at United with wages of around 16 million euros per year. British media said United had closed on a deal worth up to 70 million euros for Casemiro, who has 63 caps for Brazil. Earlier, Real coach Carlo Ancelotti said Casemiro wanted to leave Real Madrid to face a new challenge. Casemiro's addition will boost United's options in midfield, with Ten Hag currently having only Fred and Scott McTominay as the regular players in that department. United are bottom of the Premier League after losing both their opening games. They host rivals Liverpool on Sunday, August 22nd. La Liga and European champions Real signed France midfielder Aurélien Tchouameni in June from AS Monaco, with the 22-year-old believed to be a replacement for Casemiro. After joining the Spanish Giants in 2013 from Sao Paulo, Casemiro won 5 Champions League trophies, 3 La Liga titles, 1 Copa del Rey, and 3 Club World Cups, among others. As he is, by and large, a great purchase. Man United may, in some quarters, be considered to have pulled off a coup of a signing. But he is 30. And in fact, Real Madrid were already planning how to replace him. And the threat that young prodigy, Tchouameni, is going to offer Casemiro at Real Madrid may be the reason why he has chosen to leave. But other than that, why would... And I know, as Lotti says, the player wants a new challenge. But why would a player leave Real Madrid at the height of their power? Current Champions League champions, league champions, and only to go to Manchester United, who are struggling, who are not in the Champions League, and whose transfer policy suggests complete disarray behind the scenes.
Yeah, the reason is not far-fetched, you understand. So when you get to the pinnacle of your career at a club, you understand. So there won't be motivation again. So you will want to go on another adventure, you understand, to seek a new challenge, to see how it is like at the other leagues. And so I think for Casemiro, he has won everything needed to be won. In the Spanish football, he's won he won La Liga Santander. He's won the Copa del Rey Kings Cup. He's won the Champions League. He's won the Club World Cup. He's won the Super Cup. You understand? So what else? Of course, that's nothing for him. To motivate him again. You understand? So at least he's been able to achieve that within a couple of years. He was at Real Madrid. So now seeking a new challenge. Of course, we open his eye to so many other things. You understand? So like language barrier, the culture, the tradition, the philosophy. You understand? So now I'm going to England. So I have a contrary, of course, a contrary opinion. Him going to Manchester United. What is the Manchester United signing policy? You understand? So do they have a policy for signing players? You understand? So he's 30-year-old. You understand? So how many seasons? Of course, will he give them?
Speaking on that point, at 30, most players understand that their next contract is going to be their last. So they try to get the most amount of money they can, because if they continue, let's say they sign a 4-year contract, which means at 34 that contract ends. The contract will probably get renegotiated within 2 or 3 years into that 4-year deal, which means the next contract won't be as high as the last one, the one they just signed. So is money going to be a major factor? Is money a major factor in the calculus that Casemiro has made? Because obviously at Man United, the fact that they need him so badly, they're going to end up paying him more money. He's going to be more valued, and reports are saying that he's going to be the second highest paid player in the squad, unlike Real Madrid, who would probably have tried to shortchange him in terms of negotiating the next contract. That is, if there was going to be a next contract.
I am not bothered about the money, whether whether we become the highest paid player or not. But what I'm looking at is, the board, of course, the Manchester United board. They have a plan, they have a vision. You understand? So now even the coach as well, has a plan, a vision. You understand? So what is his own idea of how he wants his team to be? You understand? What kind of team, of course, does he want to build? You understand? So is he building a team for the future, or building a team for a quick success? You understand? A team that will fade out in 2-3 seasons. That is why I said, how many seasons, of course, will Casemiro, give Manchester United, considering his age, 30 plus, you understand? So now a player of 30 years and above, can't give you 3, 4, 5 seasons, except as an exceptional talent like Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi and some other couple of players, we've seen. That are still watching stronger.
Doesn't this seem like a panic buy? Because first of all throughout the summer, they've gone and they are still in the market to bring in De Jong, because the position that they need help in the most is that defensive midfield area. And De Jong would have slotted in, being the kind of player that that can retain possession, but whether he can tackle as hard as Casemiro, that is definitely not where his strength lies. So De Jong and Casemiro are two different profiles of players. Meanwhile, when it seemed like time was running out, De Jong's deal wasn't going to happen anytime soon, perhaps may not happen until the very last day of the summer.
The window, transfer window.
They then went for Adrien Rabiot, a player that is closer in profile to Frankie De Jong, but is also good, a sufficient, decent tackler. Close in that regard, he's also close to Casemiro. But Casemiro is a better player. Why do you think Manchester United didn't go for the obvious better player? Instead, they went for Rabiot first.
Yeah, I have said it all. I said it depends on the kind of team you want to build. You understand? So, and the kind of success you want to achieve. You understand? So, because every coach comes with his own idea and ambition. You understand? So that is why I was asking earlier that will Casemiro give Manchester United 4 to 5 seasons? That is question number one. You understand? But for me, I think expand expanding their tentacles, to other clubs in the English Premier League, or possibly, go drop down a bit, search for young players, that can manage that position very well, so that can give you like 5-6 seasons, would be a good omen for Manchester United. But I think even the defensive midfield is not even at the problem, of course, of Manchester United. There are a couple. My own philosophy is this. Manchester United as a club, the biggest, football club side in the entire UK, and one of the most followed club side worldwide, with the largest fan base in the world. You understand? So they have a tradition. You understand? So, and the legacies of Alex Ferguson, still, of course, being carried on. You understand? So now the incoming, whoever the coach is, if you can't surpass, at the standard of Manchester United, try to maintain, that standard. Don't fall short of the standard. Now, bringing in players to Manchester United is another thing entirely. You understand? So where we have to be careful. You understand? The board, the club director, everybody that is associated with, bringing players, should apply extra carefulness in their dealings, because don't bring in a player, that will not give you what you want, and tomorrow you put it in the transfer market. No, you have to. There are players in the current Manchester United squad that are not up to a United standard. You understand? So they are falling short of expectations. Players like Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial before he was sent out on loan, and of course returned to Manchester United. Look at Jesse Lingard. All these players. I think what really affected them is that they thought they have arrived. Saying themselves, are putting on the red and black, the red and white Manchester United jersey, in front of about 60, 70, 80,000 fans. So they thought they have arrived, you understand? So by that, they fell short of expectation. They allowed themselves, to be overwhelmed. So complacency set in for Manchester United. Look, no matter what happens to Manchester United, they still remain the biggest club in the UK and the most, follow club side in the world.
All right, let's stick to Manchester United's issues right now, as the manager Erik ten Hag has urged fans to stay unified ahead of Monday's Premier League clash with Liverpool, as some supporters plan to protest against the club's American owners, the Glazers family. Before the game, United have come under fire from fans after losing both their opening games to sit at the bottom of the league table, and also failing to secure transfer targets in the close season. United, who won the last of their record 20 English league titles back in 2013, will be looking for their first top-flight points under Ten Hag when they host Liverpool on Monday. They have been handed an early boost with forward Anthony Martial back in training after missing the last 2 games with a hamstring injury. Though it remains to be seen if he will be involved in the match. Ten Hag was asked about Cristiano Ronaldo's future at the club, and the Dutch manager reiterated that the Portugal forward remains in his plans amid intense speculation over the 37-year-old's future. Club side have pumped in 13 goals in their last 3 league meetings with United, but the Germans said they cannot dwell on those results heading into the contest. Club said defender Joe Gomez will start after coming off the bench in their 1-1 draw with Crystal Palace, while forward Roberto Firmino is also available after shaking off a minor muscle issue. Manchester United and Liverpool, historic rivals in the Premier League, both have the most number of titles, with Manchester United coming first. Obviously, in recent time, Manchester City have become a powerhouse in Manchester and in the Premier League. So the rivalries between Manchester United and Manchester City is also always on the forefront. So if Manchester United are not doing well, you just look across town to Manchester City doing so well. Liverpool, 3 previous games, put in 13 goals past Manchester United. Erik ten Hag, I think, is still at the beginning of his reign, so he's still a little more optimistic about the chances of his players performing. But it seems to me that in previous games, every time these group of players have conceded 1 or 2 goals early on, maybe within the first half of the game, their shoulders slump, they don't seem to have enough will to go on to fight all the way to the end, which is not typical of the Manchester United we know, which always had a never say no, never die spirit. What is the chance of Manchester United, of Eric Ten Hag, getting any sort of result against Liverpool on Monday?
Well, the great of the greatest, rivalry, that exists, in English football is between Liverpool and Manchester United, because they are on each other's neck, and so one team to outdo the other. So currently, Man U, of course, topping at the titles are log, you understand. So we're having one more titles than Liverpool, but Liverpool, of course, are not wanting to relent, want to catch up, and surpass at the achievement of Manchester United as far as the English Premier League is concerned. You understand? Yeah. Now, going down, the line, Manchester United is currently going through a turbulent period. Of course, that is normal in football. So there's ups and downs in football. So, you occupy the top position today, then you fall down the ladder tomorrow, then repackage yourself and head straight, to success land tomorrow. You understand? So now, the game. Even Liverpool, currently now, so are not finding it rosy. You understand? So it is just, the season is still very young. You understand? I call it infant. You understand? So we are still at the infant stage of the season. Where teams are still trying to get their acts together and put up a good sterling performance. But the game against Liverpool, I think Ten Hag just need to perfect his strategy. You understand? So get it right. His tactical formation, of course, must be good, because coming up against Liverpool, won't be a child's play. So they are not a pushover. So you are not coming up against Norwich. You are not playing Birmingham. You are not playing Wolverhampton Wanderers. You are not playing Fulham. But you are up against a very fierce opposition.
Unfortunately, Casemiro won't be available for that match, which means Eric Ten Hag will have to choose between Fred and McTominay, who's going to man that position. We've seen in the previous games that he tried to have Christian Eriksen, drop deeper to receive the ball and to spread the pass, allowing for Fred and McTominay to bomb forward and Bruno Fernandes to try to inspire something in
it's not been, Ten Hag has not been able to find the perfect combination in the midfield area for Manchester United. You understand? So that is why I said that, in this situation he finds himself, you just have to make do, with what we have,
it seems
what is available. So starting, from his tactical formation, that is where, you will either get it right or wrong.
So my point,
when your tactical formation is wrong, you won't get
the point I was trying to make is that obviously Eric Ten Hag wants his team to play out from the back, to control possession, and to dictate the pace of the game.
Who are the players? Who are the players can hold the ball for Manchester United?
Unfortunately, it seems that strategy is not yet something that he's able to accomplish without a strong defensive midfielder who can retain the ball, who can have good judgment on the ball. So while Casemiro will not play that game, do you think Eric Ten Hag will shift tactics, will go more conservative, going up against a team like Liverpool, who are the best pressers in the league? Brighton and Hove Albion pressed Manchester United so hard in the game that they won possession and scored 2 goals within the first half. If he tries that tactic with Liverpool, they might concede 5 in the first half. Is he likely to change?
Yeah, football gives opportunity to managers and gavers or whatever they call them. You understand? So because a day to match day, so there'll be press conference where you reel out your team list. You understand? So I knowing fully well that you are coming up against a more tactical and a compact side. You understand? So having known at the lineup, Liverpool lineup. You understand? So you have to sit down. Of course, rack your brain. Come out with a tactical and technical savvy, so that we neutralize at the play of Liverpool. You understand? So then find in your pool of players, the perfect match, perfect combinations that will perfectly execute your game plan, you understand? So because if you want to hold on play, you want to dictate the pace of the game, so you want to keep a position, you must go for your best leg. No sentiment, no preference, you understand? So go for your best leg. When you go for the best leg, definitely you achieve something. A draw for Manchester United against Liverpool, will be a very huge result for them considering their turbulent period.
Well, let's go to boxing now, as Ukraine's defending world champion Alexander Usyk and British challenger Anthony Joshua hit the scales heavier than before ahead of their heavyweight title rematch in Saudi Arabia on Saturday. That is today. I want to get through this very quickly. Where is your money in this matchup?
Well, I'm a Nigerian, first of all. I'm a patriotic Nigerian as well. But when it comes to sport, we have to be objective, you understand? So, we shouldn't allow a personal emotion or maybe a patriotism or even, override, of course, our interest, you understand? So, this is sport, you understand? So, and you have to go for the very best, you understand? So, for me, I am putting my money on Alexander Usyk, to do another one, of course, over Anthony Joshua, because for me, I believe it's time, of course, it's time, of course, it's time, of course, in the world of heavyweight boxing, becoming champion of heavyweight boxing champions of the world. Of course, it's over. I bet you, he can't reclaim, the title again.
But Anthony,
Alexander, because yes, early this morning, of course, I saw something online, that really caught my interest. Even his camp, Joshua's camp says, his preparations, of course, is not top notch. He said he didn't prepare very well. And I said, oh, you're trying to, look for excuse before even before the bout. You understand? So now, if your camp can say that, though there is mind game, of course, in sport, you understand, is allowed. So, boss. I don't think Joshua can stand there. But
it's
the
been
test
reported,
of time once more against
Alexander
Usyk.
It's reported right now that Usyk is heavier than he has ever been, and Joshua has actually lost weight, so that he's more nimble, he's faster, his lower body is able to move quicker on the canvas. You don't think these two shifts in the weight of these two men is going to have an impact on how quick Joshua is in the bout versus how quick and accurate Alexander Usyk's punches will land?
Yeah, of course. What you mentioned counts a lot in boxing. So you have to be quick. So and you have to have a 100% concentration. You understand? So watch your opponent's movement and throw your jab, of course, intermittently. You understand? So, but for me, I am just praying that Anthony Joshua, of course, at the end of the day, will not become the chief Olule Lekon, Olule Lekeji, Olule Leketa, as they say, of course, politically. So.
All right. I think we'll just say, as Nigerians, we wish Anthony Joshua good luck against Alexander Usyk. The bout is today, Saturday, and just watch out for it. I think it's going to be an interesting one. Alexander Usyk is currently fighting for his country's independence.
I'm giving him my mind. So then Usyk my brain.
Well, I am going for Anthony Joshua because one of us has to. My name is Mukai Eltonvu. It's a pleasure having Tolu Lokwe
Atoba
Tele on the show. As always, it's also a pleasure to have you join us on the show, because without you, obviously, what's the point? Thank you for joining us here on Saturday. Join us next time again for more Plus Sports special on another Saturday, as we bring you all the latest sports stories from around the world. Remember, life is never boring with some sports. Do have a wonderful day.